Okay, cool. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Guildford City Fitness live stream on Wednesday morning, day 3 of this series. Nice weather today again, a little bit frosty, but for any of you that are joining me in the garden, best of luck. If you enjoy it as much as I do. Well, good morning again to anyone who's joining us from around the country, around the world, who isn't a swimmer at Guildford. Everyone's welcome. Hope the parents are still getting involved as well. Been an incredible response on Twitter and through the group chats that I've seen coming through. The turn up for yesterday's challenge from Performance Squad was incredible. I think you really managed to push yourselves, and it's really bringing the whole thing to life. So again, thanks to anyone who's sharing. It'd be great to see people from other squads getting involved as well, and we'll start sharing between the squads so you can see how you're all stacking up. I know that some of you are used to doing other stuff on land more than others, so people that are already used to running and cycling, it'd be great to see how your times can be used to help motivate the rest of us to see how we compare to people that are doing the other stuff. Very quickly, just to get the video going, I'm going to get straight into it. So a bit of the feedback, we want to get going as soon as we can so that you can get the live workout done and then crack on with your day. I've had a few people asking about inverted rows, so I'm literally going to do this, start the warm up, and then we'll go through today's session. So if you've got a table to switch pull-ups to inverted rows, just lie underneath it on your back, hands out to the side, feet on the ground like you're doing a glute bridge. Start from there, pull yourself up and hold, back down slow. If you want to make it harder, just straighten your legs out. Exactly the same thing. And again, all you have to do is adapt where your feet are to make it a bit more doable, depending on how you're feeling today. So with that being said then, today's warm up again, like I said, if you want to follow the sheet, that's fine. I'm just going to throw in a couple of extra little bits, just because I'm conscious some people have been saying when they've been doing running then they're not used to it, that they want to manage some of the DOMs that they've been getting from doing that. So delayed onset muscle soreness, if you're suffering a little bit more than you may be used to, there's some extra little bits and pieces you can do before these runs and aerobic sets just to prepare your body a little bit better, so that you don't feel so sorry for yourself after you finished it. It means we can keep this thing going. So we'll start off with the usual. So squat down. So just go through 2 of those to make up for the extra bits. Making sure, if you can't get all the way to the ground on this, you just go as far as you can and then drop down. As long as you're getting a big stretch in your hamstrings. Rotation plank, make sure your hands come up before your hips move. You're pulling through with your core. Spider-Man lunge, get your foot as far up towards your hand as you can and really sit into it. Move your knee around a little bit to find some extra range of motion. Downward dog. Head between hands, hips up into the air. Try and make a V shape. And from there, you kick your foot as high as you can. Try to make a nice straight line from your ankle down to your wrist. And then pigeon stretch if I do it from the front. So you go without knocking out the heavy doors. Just bring your leg through and underneath you and sit back a little bit onto your hips. Okay, and then finish off. So in terms of other little running drills, just try and prepare your ankles and calves a little bit more. I think that's some of the feedback I've been getting the most. So start with a little bit of an ankling series up onto your tiptoes. Want to make sure your heel stays as far away from the ground as you can with this. A couple of penguin walks. So you're just going to lift your toes up, do about 10 of those on the spot. Start throwing in some shoulder rolls if you want to. So want to really make sure that you're preparing all the muscles around your ribs and support your shoulder for any of those faster runs you're going to be doing. There's going to be a lot of trunk control needed to be done by those muscles. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Go into some pogos. With these again. Try and change up the height you get from the ground on each one. Just really start to prepare your ankle for some of this work. Then if you want to look at A marches, so sagittal plane, right in front of you, up into tiptoes, opposite hand to leg. So like you're trying to replicate stance position in sprinting, so from the side, heel up towards your bum, knee up nice and high. Which again isn't going to feel quite as punishing or like it's doing as much as some of the other warm-up bits we've done, but it's doing a really good job of warming up those smaller muscles in the way that you need them to help support the task you're about to perform. Especially with the mountain climbers we've got in today's session, really good one to start trying to really activate and warm up your hip flexors. I'm going to progress that on into a skip. If you're struggling with the rhythm on that, it's pretty much just like hopscotch. So just relax your arms, build it up, really gently start to get your heart rate up, get you prepared. Then we can look at, if you haven't got room, you don't need to lunge, but some sprint start lunges. So foot down, knee to ground. Pretty much like we've rehearsed in the cool downs for the last couple of sessions. Go down, up, do that a couple of times. So again, we're really starting to try and feel a stretch in the middle of your hamstring instead of behind. Switch over. Again, really important, guys, to make sure you've got a nice straight back, because you're certainly not going to be running like this. Then once you've done that, shake it out in between a couple of lateral lunges. So up in that high knee position, sink down as low as you can, toes facing forward the whole time. Just do a couple of those. Really make sure that as you do, you're trying to keep your chest up nice and forward, or do it from the side on. And same again, copy on the other side. And like everything else, guys, you might find that it's easier to do on one side than it is on the other. But everyone's got a preference from years of doing other stuff, like, you know, if you're playing football, you've probably got a leg that you're used to kicking with, better touch with. Same with running, everyone's got one stronger leg, one weaker one. But a lot of it's not about strength, it's just about coordination and familiarity with the skill. Okay, so then we'll do some hip swings, a little bit of a classic, but in terms of range, make sure you're not going to batter anything, and you're really trying to make sure you start nice and low and slow, and as you go through, build it up a little bit, and also make sure you're not getting any rounding through your lower back. Worst thing you can do is try and get the range by relaxing all of your core and trunk muscles, because it means it's not going to stretch everything that it's supposed to. Okay, and then the same with the side-on swings. So you want to make sure that rather than twisting your whole body and relaxing those groin muscles, you stay flush to the wall in front of you. Really try. You feel that Tilly Henson-Hamilton range of motion in you. I'm so fortunate to have put the graft into dancing as well as you have. But again, it's making sure everything stays as coordinated and loose as it can do, so that once you finish the exercise, you just start recovering instead of surviving. Okay, throwing a couple of scat presses. So again, especially with running, I've got some mountain climbs to do during today's set. But scat presses, as much as we know they're important for swimming, it's really going to make sure that you're ready for running too. So knees off the ground and sink down. And the most important part is you're pushing your hands away from your body, trying to get a massive stretch in between your shoulder blades. Okay, so that all out of the way. Again, if you've got any comments or feedback, put them in the comment section on the video. Demi's going to remember them for me just to save us a bit of time. We will answer everything, and if we don't, I'll do it myself in the comments after the videos. It just means we can concentrate on getting the work done. So that being said, today's one, round number 3, you're pretty much just going to need mountain climb, a pillow just to support you. No extra kit today. If anyone wants to see other demos, like I said, once the video's done, I'll probably take a little bit of time afterwards just to go through them so that you can all crack on. So, Mountain climbers should all know this one. Press up plank to start, but we don't need that if you're doing it right. I'm just going to go. So you're just alternating your feet position from front to back, landing at the same time, preferably single leg RDL. So if you haven't got a bench or you don't need a bench, go from that high knee, hinge forward, make sure you keep everything nice and controlled. Not very tough on its own. After you've done around the mountain climbers, it's going to feel pretty beastly. So increase that range of motion. Try and get yourself down to a nice long T shape. And then hold it for a second. Try and stop your hips from wobbling. Repeat on the other side. Straight arm plank. Same as a side plank. But you're going to go up like that. Feet stacked on top of each other. And make sure that your hand is directly under your shoulder. Repeat on the other side. Mountain climbers we've covered. Narrow push up again, just hands inside, shoulders on your knees if you need to. But again, wrist underneath. It's going to be way harder if you have them out in front or behind. And then high knees to finish off. That's on the sheet. I might show an alternative during that one just to give you options. So make sure you've got the drink one last time, and we're going to get going. Okay then, so same as the last 2 days, 3 rounds of 30 seconds of work. I'm going to get you going. I'm going to come with you on round 1. In 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. 10 more seconds, guys, keep it up. And relax. Okay, and try and keep your rest in between just under 10 seconds. Just enough time for you to switch from one to the other. So we're gonna go left side in 3, 2, 1, down you go. Again, guys, concentrate on your breathing. Make sure you hold that core position as low as you can. But it's much more important that you hold your posture rather than just trying to get really low and collapse. Okay, time for one more. And we'll switch sides. A bit of a shakeout. You might start to feel it a lot around your calf and ankle. Which again, just make sure we keep the wheels on the wagon for all the running that you need to do. Second leg in 2, 1. Off we go. Whoa. If you have to correct a little tap on the ground, fix it. Relax. Okay, then we're going on to straight left arm side plank. So set yourself out the normal. If you have to, drop into forearm. 2, 1. So this is mainly conditioning all your hip muscles around here. So also focusing a lot on shoulder stability. There's no point in doing this if you're going to shoulder drop your shoulder, rotate backwards and forwards. Hold that nice straight streamline on your side and swap over. Okay, what's that? Go again in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, just about halfway there now, guys. I'm going to make sure you don't start to bow. If you really start to struggle, it's okay just to drop onto your forearm. Again, just making sure your forearm and shoulder positions are right. Just get someone else in the room to double check if you can. Okay, relax there. back into mountain climbers. It's going to be a little bit harder now. So we start to fatigue our shoulders, but more important than ever, focus on good technique. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Relax. So after that, I'm definitely taking my jacket off. Next one's narrow push-ups. Again, no harm in going on your knees, because all we're doing is really making sure we get a lot of good work done by our triceps over our shoulders and chest. Everything works together, but this prioritizes. 2, 1, let's go. Again, tempo challenge if you want, a couple of seconds down, less repetitions completed, but a lot more quality done per rep. Okay, relax. Finally onto high knees. So again, if you've got someone in the room with you, try and challenge around doing some sprints, feel free to get them involved. We're all going to go off in 3, 2, 1, go. Really good posture here. Make sure your heels come up nice and close to your hips. You want an A-hip instead, just to mix it up. Get a little bit more conditioning. Try and work on your running posture. Make you more economical. I mean, you get more out of the running for less effort. And relax. So you got a little 2-minute break now. Let's see if there's time for us to look in the comments, see if there's anything that you want to know.
Yeah, if you've got any questions or anything you want to know, just send it through now. Jordan will either answer it in the breaks now or at the end.
So again, like we said, the main thing that you're going to bump up against in the next few days is managing your DOMs. We said on day one, some of you aren't going to be used to doing this volume of work on dry land. Some of you will have gone for runs to either relax, or you've done it from another sport and you're used to doing it. But for example, some of the heavier guys, like more lean mass, the more you weigh, the harder every run's going to be for you. So all these little bits and pieces that I've done today, you know, it's not as grueling as doing a really hard set, a bench press, or doing a couple of push-ups, but it means you're really focusing on conditioning all the muscles around those major joints to make sure that they can support your movement, and then all the bigger muscles can do the job they're supposed to do, essentially. It's a little bit early for me to get into the nitty-gritty on the physiology, but again, if you have any questions, if you're starting to pick up maybe a little niggle here or there, and you want something that you want to try and address it, just again, reach out. I'll try and help you however I can. So another 30 seconds to go. And again, for those that are just joining, we went through a demonstration of inverted rows at the start because we've had some questions around it. We kept the intro really brief today. Hopefully any questions you have will get answered at the end. And if not, again, you can just put a comment in or email myself or Lee, or put it on one of the social media channels, and we'll try and answer it as quick as we can. So, round number 2 then, guys. You've got 5 seconds, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, off you go. I'll maintain your dignity while you do it. If you really start to feel that you can't hold your back position anymore, Again, you can just go into one of the other aerobic things that we do. You've already put a good shift in round 1. So as long as you do this, it just means you're keeping your heart rate up, keeping your blood pumping. And again, just making sure you can carry on tomorrow and every day for the foreseeable future. Okay, relax. Onto RDLs again. And just making sure if you have to cut down your range, you do. 2, 1. If you really want to challenge yourself, go down slow, up quick. See if you can stabilize and catch yourself. A lot of guys have been spoken to about their stability in the water. Well, all these positions you catch are going to be about how well the smaller muscles can help articulate those positions. That's always worth concentrating on. Relax there. Little tiny pause, without battering any equipment. 3, 2, 1. And even if you just make sure that your belly button is stacked over the middle of your foot, and that's all you can manage, that's absolutely fantastic. It's much better than trying to be a hero, try and find that aim range where you haven't got control over it yet. Start wobbling and just falling over and collapsing. Just nice control. Be mindful of everything you do. Hold it if you want to challenge yourself, and relax. So then, straight left arm side plank. So way to go. A little bit of a rest. 2, 1, off we go. Again, if you want, you can try and transition this into a star plank. So again, a little bit of extra conditioning for all the extra land work you're doing. Literally transition from here. Just start small. Try and lift your foot up for a couple of seconds. You don't have to go straight into that. If you want, you can go forearm with a cushion. Same thing. Hold that position and we'll work through your upper outside hip. Leave it there. Go on to the second side. Again, try and stay with me, guys. I know you're all working really hard. Going in. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Oops. Follow my own advice. Another thing you can do, if you see what I've done, look at my feet, just jam your feet onto a wall. Just gives you a little bit more stability through your core. You can concentrate more on your posture and your core control. Really important that you don't just try and sprint ahead, or even worse, just keep dropping out, trying to catch your breath, not doing any work. You stay with us and go through it together. If you have to readjust your elbow, you just do that really quickly. And relax. Whew.
You're getting some thumbs up, Han.
Well, thanks guys. First going better than it was day 1. First I'm going to drop onto my knees. Again, posture is the most important thing here. So we're going in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So again, if you have to go onto your knees, less core, but you've got a chance to really emphasize your triceps as slow as you can. It's almost a challenge in itself, guys. So if you want to upload a video of yourself, hashtag slowest push-up. We'll see who wins this one. I guarantee if you try and do one of these for 30 seconds, you're really going to know about it. Leave that there. Up onto your feet. Last exercise of round number 2. Again, deep breath, make sure you're taking little sips of water for a 2-minute rest in a second. Last one, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Again, if you want to then chuck in some sprints, feel free, as long as you don't turn it into this. Last few seconds, guys, stay with us. And relax. So again, 2 minutes off. Time for any questions you might have.
So how are you guys getting on with training at home? What are you missing the most? And what is it that's getting you through? Is it music that you're playing? Is it the competition of uploading with the hashtags? What is it that you enjoy the most at the moment?
Well, that's great. A lot of you have been talking to each other every day like you would normally. But personally, I'm definitely missing the interaction. Like, coaching is very much a human medium for us. So, you know, the start and stop times in the day aren't really relevant. A lot of this is much more engaging for me as it is for you, to have someone there trying to get you through, trying to coach you to be better. Which is why I'm really glad to see all the views and all the interaction that we're getting. And again, not just from Guildford, from everyone else that wants to try and stay with us and try and start the morning off on the right foot. So we've got just about another minute, guys. Round 3 coming up. And trying to think, what else were we supposed to cover? Again, if you want to see any variations on a theme for these sessions, the reason that today's got mountain climbers twice and then high knees at the end, if you find that you are suffering a bit with all the extra aerobic work, today's body weight is incorporating a little bit of core, so it becomes almost it's not easier, it's just a different variation on a theme, like I said. So you've got more aerobic work done in this. It's a little bit shorter, high intensity, repeated bout. As long as you're leaving the session, heart rate really high, you haven't used your core and articulated a couple of complex movements, and you're still going to get a lot of value from it, but it's still really important that you're doing all your recovery bits and pieces after the fact. Please pay attention to that. A couple of people have asked for ice bath protocols. We're going to try and do a bit more around that, but again, just please stay in contact. So we're ready to go then. Round number 3, just to maintain quality, I'm going to start off and then drop down. So we're going to go again, 2, 1, go. Oh, broke my device, I'm going to start that. If you think you're going to start cheating through your upper back, all you do is just pop straight up.
So you've got Harriet and Nicole are doing it together. Great session, thanks, from Chris Shepherd.
Oh, you're very welcome, Chris. Thanks guys for joining in. Oh, relax. Okay, so then we are going on to into RDLs. So it's really hard to concentrate and talk. 3, 2, 1, go. It's also very humbling to be taken down by your own sessions. Again, for anyone that's ever thought a coach isn't thinking about you when they write programs, I definitely am.
And you know your heart rate's up high when you're struggling to talk, so...
Yeah, so again, this comes back onto some of our guys a little bit, that when we see you during warm-ups, either you are a lot fitter than we ever gave you credit for, or you can maybe concentrate a bit harder on your shoulder taps and whatnot. Relax there. So again, you might find that this is really something to punish you around the bottom of your foot and your ankle. Really important to persevere. 2, 1, let's go. So again, me personally, I think I'm a little bit right leg dominant. So, ankle scoping a little bit better than my left. That's fine. All you do, control the range, just pause for a little bit, make sure your knee doesn't wobble, back up. So we're getting some really good hip and hamstring conditioning done with that coming down here. Starting to lose it, it means you know exactly what your body's doing. Relax there. Okay, straight on plank. Again, after all, the mountain climbers, shoulders more up the suffer. Okay, control yourself from round 3 and we'll try and build to a full straight arm next time. 2, 1, let's go.
So in the second video yesterday, we had a lot of people commenting saying that their pets have been joining in as well. How about with you guys? Any of your dogs or cats getting really annoyed with you hogging their space training, or are they joining in?
Yeah, I think my cat's done with me for the next foreseeable. And relax. On the side, make sure I can stay in the conversation. 2, 1, let's go. So again, it's talking about recovery again, guys. If you've got anything that you think you find useful to recover, whether it's a hot bath, whether it's a specific meal, as long as it's healthy, and you want to share that with us, just post it up. Not every video has to be about what you're doing in the exercise. Just start putting in a couple of photos of food you're eating, recovery things you're doing. Just trying to share the wealth, make sure we can all join in with you. I'll leave that one there. Then into mountain climbers again. I'm going to stick with star jumps, but I'm going to start off together. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Even doing this, guys, if you want to shorten up your strides, you want to maintain the body position, that's fine. You don't have to go from, you can still do that. A lot of very good upper trunk, shoulder conditioning. Hands overhead if you're doing star jumps. Relax. Okay, narrow push-ups. Again, Sam Newton in his 1,000 push-ups. I want to see how long you last on a single eccentric narrow push-up. 3, 2, 1, go. Move. Mind up for bugs. Last couple of seconds, guys. Last half of the second last exercise. Okay, so again, let's finish strong together. Quick round of high knees. Again, anyone in the room, if you've got pets to try and motivate you, let's finish it together. 3, 2, 1, go. So last 10 seconds, guys. Keep going. Sprint finish. 3, 2, 1. And leave it there. Make sure you get a drink as quick as you can. So again, before you start getting into any heavy stretching, just make sure you're waiting for your heart rate to come down. Walk around a little bit. We've got time. I've got a few other little bits of information you can use, and little different ways of maintaining your flexibility and stability at length. So, number 1, we're going to look at Russian squat. I think we did it yesterday. Squat down as low as you can. Wrap your hands around the outside of your feet. Pull your hips down and set your shoulders. So we're going from the side. Drop down. And then really set. Make sure your back stays nice and flat. And try and push your elbows into your knees Really start to open up your groin a little bit. Yeah, it's always good. Repeat your warm up a little bit, ramp it down on the cool down, see how you're feeling after all the work you've done. Okay. Quads, again, no specialist kit. Your best bet is just to go with the side on, grab your ankle. As a quick thanks to anyone that's started with us and has had to go off to do the virtual classroom or go to work. Really appreciate being here all the same. Have a good one. Just really make sure if you've got time you fit in some of this so you're not suffering too much later on. Focus on that tight core position. If you're doing this right, you should be able to feel like you're about to start doing a plank or a crunch. Relax, switch over. There's nothing big or clever about not using the wall, guys. It's just absolute personal preference. It's not even something that I'd say you have to progress to. Whatever it takes for you to concentrate more. If you want to talk to whoever else is with you in the room, or concentrate on your breathing and you find you can't because you're wobbling, then don't be a hero, just grab onto something. All you should focus on now, taking care of your body. It's like MOT in the car and just checking it's not going to fall apart on you for a long journey. Okay, relax. Into sprint stretch. 2, 1. Again, hopefully, if you've got someone in the room who can correct you. Hello. Tell me I'm around.
Yep. Sorry. Yep, round. Straighten up.
Debbie's falling asleep behind the camera today.
No, I'm looking at the comments actually.
Oh, we got comments?
No, well, we had a few.
Okay.
Just people saying hi.
Oh, hi guys. Okay. Switch over. And again, with all these stretches and recovery pieces, guys, I've gone for 30 seconds just to keep it brief enough for it to fit in the video. So if you feel like your left hamstring is maybe a little bit tighter than your right one, this is absolutely the ideal time to finish off the whole thing short. Start answering those questions, go back and top it up. Don't spend like a minute on one leg, 30 on the other, and knock everything off. Do 30 of each, so to figure out, okay, left lat, come back to that, do some extra. Hips, so we haven't done frog for a while, so you can do bent iron cross that we've covered. A lot of you like that one for your hips, but for your adductors, set off a glute bridge, plant the bottoms of your feet together, and just push your hips up. Focus on squeezing your glutes rather than getting your hips up high. Or I could affectionately name this the Charlie stretch, because if you want to just lie down and relax, if you've got a tight groin, your knees you should actually notice after a minute or so, your knees should just start to fall. So if you might start like this, relax a little bit, and if it's working, your knees will just naturally start to sink a bit more without you feeling too much more of a stretch. Just please be careful when you come out of this one. I tend to just drop a leg, use your hands, push them back together. The only way I can describe it is weird, and it's really high up. So it's all good, just make sure you're conscious of those sensations. Okay, lats again. Personally like this one at the minute. But equally, take this off quickly. If you want to, use your fingers or your thumb. And again, just a couple of shoulder rolls in anywhere that you think feels a little bit tender. So if you're not copying me on this, just go through your normal lat stretching routine, lie down on the side, creep your hands away.
So what are you doing with the other hand whilst you're doing the shoulder rolls?
So this one's literally poking into my shoulder roll, is just trying to manipulate my lats. If you switch sides now, if you do that, it's not going to do anything. You're going to take your fingertips, and you're not trying to pierce yourself. Just rest it into your lat. Relax, see how that feels. And then rather than having to push even harder every time, just leave it there. If you move your arm around, it's going to start to stretch and relax your lat. Go over your head. Make sure you're walking all around. Same as with the quads. Imagine that your fingers are a pen and you're just going to try and start to colour in all of that muscle. Everything you can reach. Turn your hands, wrists up and down as well. Okay, chest stretch. So I'm going to do a smudge in the windows. So again, split sense, one in front of the other. Just have to gently turn your chest towards, so I've actually got the camera as an example today. Hips are going to stay facing that way, hand up. Really try and turn just your chest, not your hips. Which a bit higher if you want. Okay, make sure you switch sides. And we'll go on to today's challenge. I keep looking at my watch, but it died halfway through round 2, so I'm sorry if the timings are a little bit squiffy. Oh, breaking my own advice again. Hips are under shoulders, really important. So you make sure all the work you do stays exactly where you want it to. Okay. Leave that there again. If you have any other bits and pieces, if you have to shoot off, have a good one. Just make sure you don't neglect any of that work that's going to keep the wheels on the wagon. So 40 minutes there. It's a quick wrap up. So today's challenge for you all, we're going with the hashtag of ownership. So it should be at the top of the comments if you forget. So any of the work you do online today, make sure that you're hashtagging GCSC, hashtag your squad name, and then hashtag ownership, and everything else that you want to tag yourself in. The more we can reach this out, the more feedback we're going to get from the community, the more ideas and challenges we're going to start to see, and the more fun we can start to try and have with it ultimately. So you'll stay fit and we'll also try and stay happy together. So today's one has been described by Ben Rabbit as tasty. So you've got 15 minutes. So you're going to start the clock. It's going to tick down. You've got to try and do as many rounds of the following within that 15 minutes. So you're going to start off 14 squats. So one like yesterday where it descended, you're going to start the watch, 1, 2, 3, go all the way to 14. You're then going to go into shoulder taps. So for those that don't know what those are, you set yourself up in a press up plank position and you just start to tap opposite hand to opposite shoulder and make sure your hips don't rotate. So you're going to do 14 on each shoulder. No, beg your pardon, you're going to do 14 in total. There's a lot of work to be done, so don't feel like you're missing out. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go all the way up till you've done 14. So again, not 14 taps per shoulder, just 14 of those in total. And then you're going to go into 14 push-ups. So again, same as before. 2, 3, until you get to 14. No rest, ideally. Go straight back to the beginning, and you're just going to rack up. And your total is going to be how many times you got through all of that. So if you get 9 rounds done, and then you get to the shoulder taps of round 10, your total is 9. It's all the finished, completely done rounds within 15 minutes. So again, really excited to see who's going to be taking ownership of their training. That's why all the recovery is so important. If you find that you're really starting to suffer on these bits, you've got to start owning yourself, owning what you're doing day to day, and start looking at the gaps and trying to figure out what's going to make me a better person, a better athlete today, to try and make sure that we can carry on together. Because as soon as people start dropping out, it's going to make it harder to keep the momentum going. And what we don't want is for people to start feeling isolated. Stay with us, keep challenging and supporting each other, but that's got to start with you owning what you're doing day to day. So if you haven't had a chance yet, put any questions or comments you've got on Facebook, email myself, Lee, or your squad lead to feed it forward. Keep the feedback coming to us, guys. With that, I'll just say good morning again and thanks for joining us from everyone at Guildford City.